Welcome on back, everyone, to another episode of Streaming with the Mouse. Today is episode number 24, where we will be breaking down episode 2 of Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7 called Distant Echo. My name is Clifton Paul Robinson, here with Cam Ramos. So we'll be right back and enjoy the show. So, welcome on back, everyone, to episode number 24. Sorry, this is a bit delayed. It's coming out on Monday, March 2nd, compared to last Friday when the episode aired. Cam decided to take a trip to Canada to see some soccer.
I did.
How was that, though?
It was good and it was bad. So me and my buddies, we drove up to see the Revs play in Montreal in the MLS opening weekend. It was a grand old time. The people of Montreal, fantastic. They can't make a slice of pizza if their life depended on it, but God, they're so nice. They're so nice. No, it was a lot of fun. The hotel was beautiful. The city was beautiful. Only bad thing is we came home with the loss. We had a chance. We had a goal to go up 2-1. That got called back because Wilfred Zahibo was offside. Like maybe a couple minutes later, Montreal scored to make it 2-1. We had a chance to tie it up with the one of our guys, Tejan Buchanan, like literally had a header that would have been like into an open net. It like literally like 3 feet away from like the goal line, and he headed it off the post. And we lost 2-1. So that stunk, but everything else was really cool. It was really cool. It was in the Olympic Stadium that the Expos used to play in. I'm a big baseball fan too, so the history of that and knowing that the Olympic Games were there back in the 70s. It was pretty cool though. Very, very cold. Way colder than it is here in Massachusetts, but a great time. How was your weekend, Cliff?
Oh, it was good. I was just sitting like thinking, what are we gonna do for the show on Monday? No, actually, it's my spring break. Air quotes spring break. It's still 35 degrees out right now. It's gonna be warmer today, but it's a little different than Bridgewater's spring break. Northeastern does it way too early. But yeah, good weekend. Didn't just really traveled back home. But also I just the introduction again. My name is Cliff Robinson with Cam Ramos, my co-pilot, my insert names here. But yeah, we have a fun episode for sure. This was the first week in a long time we've had so much Disney Plus news.
Yes.
Some good, mostly bad. I would say it was a bad week for Disney Plus on the news wise.
It was okay. It was fine.
I think
more bad.
There were some great pros. There were some great pros, but some very bad cons. And yes. I think you'll start it off with a good thing, which shows something is moving forward.
So the Obi-Wan Kenobi standalone spin-off, whatever you want to call it, that will be coming to Disney Plus with Ewan McGregor reprising his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi from the prequels, has a working title called Pilgrim. So I doubt that's going to be the final name, that they're going to call it Pilgrim, but interesting choice because I don't know, when I think Pilgrim, I think like traveling to a new place and getting accumulated there. But the show's supposed to take place a couple years after Obi-Wan is in Tatooine, like looking over Luke and stuff like that. So I don't know. The title's very interesting. But what are your thoughts on the title, Cliff?
I like the name for now. I would not like for Star Wars Pilgrim to be the name of it.
Yeah.
I think if anything, I think a good name for it would be don't even have like Star Wars, like how Mandalorian isn't the Star Wars of the Mandalorian. It's just the Mandalorian. It should just be called Old Ben. I think Old Ben would be a really good name for it. Pilgrim, I think, is a great working title because I think the whole thing is going to be about Obi-Wan dealing with like Anakin's fall to the dark side. It's going to deal with his PTSD. It's going to deal with him helping the prophecy move along. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a very like different type of Star Wars than we're used to.
For sure.
In a good way. Because I'm pretty sure they've said that Hayden Christensen is going to come back every now and then for Anakin. So we might even see some Clone Wars episode 3 flashbacks, which would be awesome as well.
Yeah.
So I could also picture like Obi-Wan seeing Anakin and like Anakin, like a guilty Anakin being like, why didn't you save me? Like stuff like that. So I think seeing that they gave it a working title means it's moving along, which is a good sign for us.
Definitely. Absolutely. I'm very excited.
And that was given by ScreenRant.com. And the second piece, another good thing that we're happy about, Moon Knight, the Disney Plus show, has been moved up to November, where it will start filming in November in Atlanta, and that is given by GWW.com. We haven't even heard casting for this yet, but they're filming in November.
Yeah, that's very interesting to me. I'm trying to think when like Comic Con is that they would even announce who it is. Yeah,
It's
that was
usually for Comic Cons. Marvel Comic Con is usually the New York City one.
okay.
That because
Makes sense.
that's where the Marvel office is.
Okay, I just I don't know. It seems very weird that this is in production. I guess production just means like it could be like writing or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean. Oh, is it writing, production, or filming?
They're gonna start filming in
Filming.
November, but also Kenobi, or should we call it Pilgrim? Pilgrim is being written right now, and it's going to be filming in July. So it's March, and they're going to be filming in
Yeah,
less than 4 months. So I mean, you can write a show if you have the right writers, and I mean, Marvel writes. They're good at writing because they have so much source material.
no, that's true. Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. It's nice that they're working on it because I know it's supposed to be sometime in 2021, if I believe that's supposed to be coming out. So, no, it's definitely interesting for sure.
It pretty much
Uh,
got like moved up a year,
yeah,
which is nice.
yeah. So no, that'll be cool. I'm excited for Moon Knight. Like I said, I think we said this in our like Marvel, like what we're excited for preview. Like I don't know really much about the character. I know some people say he's like a Batman knockoff, is from what I hear. Again, I've never read Moon Knight comics. I know I need to. I'm working on some Doctor Strange ones right now. Um, but no, definitely got to get on that and learn more about the character so that way I have a little bit of working background when we talk about it. But Cliff, next news item, pretty cool. They have announced in the past that there's going to be a Proud Family spinoff. We have the name of it officially called the Proud Family Louder and Prouder, and that will be coming officially to Disney Plus, and all voice actors will be returning. And that came from Reddit and Disney Plus. That confirmation was made. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I never really watched the Proud Family. I watched it like
Good show.
when it was coming on, but when it was coming on before shows that I watched.
Yeah.
Um, I would probably consider watching this honestly, just because I like a lot of the voice actors that are in this. So,
Hmm.
and the fact that they're getting everyone back will be a nice thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah. I
I don't have
definitely need
a
to.
ton to say because I don't know a lot. But
I definitely don't remember much about it, but I remember watching it like kind of religiously when I was a kid. But like, I just don't remember anything. I just remember I love Mama. She was a great, funny character. But no, it is. I think when these kind of shows get announced, the big thing is like, are the actors or voice actors returning? In this case, the actors are returning, which is huge, and I think that makes that show so much better because you have that connection to the previous iteration of the show. So I'm super excited for the Proud Family Louder and Prouder. It's gonna be a good time.
yeah, and as we move into the next one, damn, you were right, but you were off by a year.
Yeah.
Monsters at Work has been delayed until March 2021. That was reported by what's on DisneyPlus.com,
Hmm.
but I remember I saw the tweet prior by the creator of Monsters at Work.
Yes.
So cam sources were off by a year, but it will still be March 2021, just March, not March 2020.
Yeah, and we
Um,
kind of talked about that when we were discussing that news story. It
yeah,
was like, how is this a thing? Like, we don't have any information. There's no way it's going to come out in March. Yeah, just nuts. But glad it's whatever. It is what it is that it's being delayed. But I'm just super excited that it's happening in general because I love Monsters U. I love Monsters Inc. So it's going to be a good time.
I think the best way to put it is I'm disappointed, but I'm not disappointed to the fact I would rather have something very good than something
Yes.
rushed.
Yes. Are we ready for the last one?
We are, and this will be one that'll probably take a couple minutes of discussion of our time.
Yes, and I do have the Hillary Duff post, but we're going to talk about all of it. So, Lizzie McGuire has been put on hold. Potentially, it's done. We don't know yet. We heard a couple months ago that Terry Minsky, who was the creator, was either just left or they were fired, but um, they left the project. They left the Lizzie McGuire reboot that was going to come to Disney Plus. Everybody was really excited for it. We learned quite a bit over this past weekend that they had filmed 2 episodes already. Um, but they're kind of constrained because of Disney Plus being family friendly. There was a hope by some cast members, including Hilary Duff, that they want to get out of that PG rating and go onto Hulu. So I'll actually read what Hillary Duff posted, like a screenshot of some text on her Instagram, and this was, I believe, on Saturday she posted this. But from Hillary Duff's Instagram account, quote, was incredibly excited to launch Lizzie on D+, and my passion remains. However, I feel a huge responsibility to honor the fans' relationship with Lizzie, who, like me, grew up seeing themselves in her. I'd be doing a disservice to everyone by limiting the realities of a 30-year-old's journey to live under the ceiling of a PG rating. It's important to me that just as her experience as a preteen/teenager navigating life were authentic, her next chapters are equally as real and relatable. It would be a dream if Disney would let us move the show to Hulu if they were interested, and I could bring this beloved character to life again. Heart emoji, end quote. So Lizzie, Hillary Duff, didn't hold back there. Kind of reiterated what some of the rumors were, that they're looking to get out of that PG rating, put something on Hulu. It makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. She is going to be in her 30s in this show. She's not a preteen. This isn't the Disney Channel show that it was when it came out, and I was a big Lizzie McGuire fan when I was growing up. Me and my sister would watch it all the time. I think going to Hulu would be super good for the show. I think you need to get a little bit away from the words like Lizzie McGuire in the title, like she put in the quotes Lizzie. So I'm wondering if that's what the show is going to be called. I don't know what you call it, but I think you have to. Basically, if you want to make it above PG-13, you have to call it something different, so kids aren't looking up Lizzie McGuire on Hulu to get that PG rating to see it, but still have it familiar, so that way older people, a PG-13 audience, or even older, can watch the show and be into it. So I don't know. Right now, it looks like it's on hold, potentially done. Really hope it's not, because I would have loved to see this, and the fact that they've already filmed 2 episodes. Would love to see it. But what are your thoughts on it, Cliff? I think you said you weren't a big Lizzie McGuire fan, right?
No, it's not that I wasn't a big Lizzie McGuire fan. I didn't watch Lizzie McGuire.
Sorry, you didn't.
I didn't watch it. I really love Hillary Duff. She's a great actress. I remember seeing her in Cheaper by the Dozen and stuff like that. I am 100% on Hillary Duff and the Lizzie cast side for this. I don't get why we're discussing family-friendly Disney Plus now. The main show on Disney Plus is called The Mandalorian. There is not a chance that is a PG rated show.
Absolutely not.
So I don't know if they're holding a double standard or a higher standard to the original Disney Channel shows, because they're like, oh, people watched this and people are probably still watching this, so we need to keep it a continuation of what it is. But I don't believe that. And that's the thing, I do not believe that, because Lizzie McGuire is not a show, like, I don't really hear kids nowadays talking about, oh, I watched Lizzie McGuire.
Mm-hmm.
You hear them, like, this is for the people that are our age, that are a little bit older, that grew up with her.
Right.
And that's the thing, I'm like, and I don't think it'll be dead in the water. I think it's dead for Disney Plus.
Yes.
I think Hulu will pick it up, because they made a very big deal about this.
Yes. It was on everything.
It would be a PR nightmare in general. And I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I'm a little disappointed in Disney with how they've handled this, because to me it almost seems like they're just holding different shows to different standards, which doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they're going even for a PG-13. Like the way they want to do Hulu, like, and obviously Mandalorian is like not PG. I'm wondering if they want to do rated R, like a true, like, let's be real with this kind of thing. Like that's what I'm wondering. And like in that case, I get it. I get why Disney Plus or Disney in general is like, no, that's not the show we want to do, because we don't want to go from this, like, the last time people saw Hillary Duff portray Lizzie, like a Disney Channel show going to a rated R show, has just never been done before. So if that's what they want to do, which that's my sense of things, I just don't see Disney going for it. And I don't blame Disney personally, because they want to protect their IP. You know what I mean?
Well, if it's going to be, when they seem like, oh, they want to talk more about the adult journey, you can do that in a PG-13 rating. Many shows do that in a PG-13 rating. But if it is wanting to do a rated R one, then I would absolutely walk back my previous statement.
Right. And
I didn't think of that.
Have no idea,
because I don't picture them saying, oh yeah, Hillary Duff's going to be rated R, and I'm like, oh, that would be different. I'd be like, that's a little.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if it'd be too much or not enough, but who knows?
Rated
Just in
R can
my
work on Hulu. That's
rated
absolutely
R,
fine.
absolutely can work
It's
on
just
Hulu.
it's the Disney, and again, we have zero knowledge of what like rating they're kind of go for. All we said is they want to get out of the PG rating. Just my gut reaction, I feel like they want to do rated R. I really do, and that would be awesome. But I understand what Disney. If Disney's like no, like we're just not going to do this, then like yeah,
We're not
it is what
we're
it
not
is.
HBO.
No, God knows. Like I could get that. And again, I think Disney is fine doing rated R. I mean, they're going to do a Deadpool movies for Christ's sakes, but that has the knowledge that it's been rated R in the past. Again, I don't know if they do Deadpool, if it'll be rated R again. I think it'll be funny if they play along with the fourth wall
I
and
think it's gonna
censor it.
be they said they're not gonna they're still gonna give full, at least at the time they said Deadpool won't change.
Gotcha. So that's what I'm saying. So like Disney and Fox do rated R. It's just I don't think you can use an original Disney property to and move it up to rated R. I'd be fine with it. I'm not somebody that's like, oh no, they can't do that. I just know Disney won't, and I can't blame them because that's their brand. And that's all I'll say on that. I don't know.
Yeah, if I when I think of it, it's just how I think of what they want to jump to, and I'm used to regular TV, where regular TV when they portray adult themes, it's always PG-13. Think about all I like think about Big Bang Theory, think about shows like that. Like they are technically adult theme sitcoms with almost a PG to PG-13 rating. Like it's very
Right.
easy to be done and it's a very popular method, but
Yeah.
if you want to try to start something new, um almost like in a sense like a Sex and the City type show, then you have to open up a different discussion of what can you do with these types of brands
Mm-hmm.
that weren't that before. I
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
like there always is, there's more to the story, and we're gonna see it for sure. It's the story will come
Yeah.
out. That's always how it works. Especially if Disney wants to protect
Yeah.
themselves, they're gonna start to leak stuff that puts them in a better light.
Yeah. I
So
couldn't agree with you more, Cliff.
so
But that's
that's
all
our
we got for
news.
news. It looks like.
Yeah, I'll just say congratulations to Bob Iger for retirement, even though he's
Oh,
staying on
how
for
was
an
that
extra
not news? I
year.
forgot about that. Yeah. Shout out to Bobby.
Yeah,
Um,
shout out to Bob and the new Bob. I completely forget his last name.
Bob Chapek.
Um, Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek. Just before we jump in, thoughts on Bob Chapek? It's a
Bob
mixed bag
Chapek.
that I've
No worries. Bob Chapek from the podcasts and blogs I follow, that are Disney related. They're mostly Disney World parks kind of blogs and stuff like that. There's one in particular. The people on that podcast are very unhappy with that about Bob Chapek taking over. Um, while Bob Chapek was part of the Disney Parks and Merchandise, I believe was the category of like the office he was in.
yeah, he
Before
was
he's
in
taking over
charge.
CEO. What was that?
He was in charge of that stuff.
Yeah. Um, they are very unhappy with the way that he ran the parks, um, and even though like there are successes, I think he was part of like the Shanghai Disneyland,
He opened
coming
it.
in and
He
help
was in
open
charge of
that.
Disneyland Shanghai.
There are a lot of people that are nervous about this move, so I'm not very well educated on it to have an opinion on if I like Bob Chapek or not. I really like Bob Iger. I respect everything he's done for parks, animation, live action, every aspect of Disney Plus or the Disney umbrella between launching Disney Plus, making that deal with Marvel, making that deal with Star Wars. I appreciate that. So shout out to Bob Iger. I just don't really have a good opinion on this Bob Chapek thing, but from the people that I trust on it, they're a little nervous about it. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen next, I guess.
Yeah, I personally really like Bob Iger. I know that's also an up in the air debate. Also, I really like him. He's one of the only
I do too.
CEOs I actually follow on Twitter. He
Yeah.
is the only CEO I follow on Twitter. Because he also has fun tweets. Iger has done an incredible job growing Disney. I found a thread that talked about three people that could have replaced him, and this was from last year. This was when people were just saying, "Oh, what happens when Iger retires?" And Chapek was on the list, and they said that Chapek would be the most like boring choice. He would be the
Interesting.
safest but most boring choice. And yes, people that work in parks are not a fan of his because he's very much known for cutting costs. He wants to
Yes.
make the biggest profit margin possible. The main thing I don't like that he did in the parks was if you ever go to Disney now and you've ever used one of the automated photographer boxes, like the photo boxes
I don't want to
instead
talk
of
about that.
the photo boxes instead
So
of real photographers. He's the one that implemented those. That's my only main complaint with him. But people said he'll be good on the money end. So if you're an investor, if you're a stockholder at Disney, you're going to like him. If you're someone that works for Disney and parks and stuff like that, you're probably not going to be as happy. So they kind of picked the safest alternative to make the stockholders happy.
interesting. Yeah.
But I
So
also, if Bob Iger probably personally picked him, I trust Bob Iger.
yep.
So I am going in with an open mind, and hopefully he's gonna bring Disney to the next level, or just keep it going on the course because that's all you really need to do.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens next. I know Bob Iger isn't leaving right away. He's going to be on for like another year or so, as he's going to be basically Chapek's boss still, just not called the CEO. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, he's the like the official like the director chairman of the board, which is the CEO's boss. So yeah, he's not going anywhere. He wants to
Yep.
see a smooth transition.
Yep. Absolutely. Should we jump into the episode
All
now?
right, it's time, Cam. Episode 2, A
So,
Distant Echo. So before we even start with that, I finally saw something. There are 3 arcs of this 12 episode thing. I know we were talking about it prior, but
mhm.
the 3 arcs are the Echo arc, the Ahsoka arc, and the Mandalore arc.
Yep.
So after these Echo episodes are done, we're going to see 4 episodes of just what Ahsoka's doing once she left the Jedi Order.
Yes.
So that'll be cool. And then obviously we know the Mandalore arc. This is actually funny that it fell on this day, that March 2nd, because it was like 7 years ago today, Ahsoka left the Jedi Order.
Yeah, I saw
Today is
that.
the anniversary of that episode. So this is kind of like, actually, it kind of worked out in our favor.
Yeah, no, it's good timing, I guess.
All right. So this episode, believing that MIA soldier Echo may still be alive, Rex's mission becomes doubly important. Alongside the Bad Batch and Anakin Skywalker, the clone captain launches a dangerous covert rescue. So our plot summary is again by Wikipedia, one of my favorite things ever as a young Star Wars nerd. So we're
Mhm.
going to be going through the plot summary and talking about certain plot points and stuff like that. So the
Can I do the
opening,
voiceover?
go right ahead, do the voiceover.
Conspiracy. I'm just kidding. Conspiracy. After repeated setbacks on the planet Anaxis, an elite clone squad is deployed to investigate the Separatist tactical advantage. This special unit, called the Bad Batch, infiltrates Admiral Trench's cyber center to steal a strategic algorithm capable of predicting the Republic's every move. What our heroes found was a live signal from the ARC trooper known as Echo, a clone long believed to be dead. Dun dun dun. All right, that was it. That was the
Dun,
opening. It was awesome.
dun.
Nice
It
little
was
recap of
incredible.
episode 1.
Great job. They should hire you to be the next Admiral Yularen.
No, never. That guy's got to be around forever.
Oh, he has an incredible voice.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Did you ever, just a general question, do you know what Anaxes is? Like, have you seen it before these 2 episodes?
I believe we have, Cliff. I believe
I
we have.
believe we have. Yeah,
Did not
Fort
pick up on it live, though. If you
Anaxes.
want to explain it, I did not pick up on it. I had to see it. I saw it on Twitter, and my mind was blown. But you can touch on it if you'd like.
Just to say, Fort Anaxes is the first rebel base in Star Wars Rebels that they build. Actually, in the first episode, when Commander Cody gets hurt, in the background when he gets hurt, you can actually see those spider-like creatures running behind him,
Yes.
supposedly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So pretty cool that they brought
that's
that
a cool thing about, yeah, and makes sense why Rex knew where it was.
Yep.
All right, so to jump into our plot summary, at Fort Anaxes, Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, Clone Captain Rex, and Clone Sergeant Hunter are waiting for permission to embark on a rescue mission to Skako Minor in search of the clone ARC Trooper Echo. Although Hunter remarks that the general staff are skeptical about the mission. Rex is insistent that if they're going to get permission, they should leave immediately, but Anakin says that they need to make time for that thing. Although Rex disagrees. Heading to the barracks, Rex hands Anakin his helmet before staying outside as Anakin goes in. Once in private, Anakin puts the helmet and a holo projector on the floor and contacts his wife, Senator Padme Amidala. He tells her that he is worried that Rex is letting his personal feelings drive him too much on this mission, and Padme says she's wondering where he might have learned that from. And also advises Anakin that he should support Rex's instincts on the mission, since Rex has always done the same for him. Outside, Rex sees Obi-Wan Kenobi approaching and bangs on the door to warn Anakin. Obi-Wan, having already deduced that Anakin is inside the barracks, doesn't believe Rex's hastily thrown together claim that Anakin is double-checking his gear without him. When Anakin emerges, he returns Rex's helmet with a claim that the captain allegedly broke something on it. Obi-Wan has actually come to say that the Jedi High Council has denied permission for the mission, but Anakin talks over him and resolves to go anyway. Resigned, Obi-Wan tells Anakin that he hopes he told Adme he said hello, which prompts Anakin to look angry for a brief moment. I think it was an incredible opening. It was an incredible opening.
So much to unpack. I think the biggest thing, and you had watched the episode before I did because I was waiting to watch it Friday when I got to work right before I had to actually go into my office. And finding out that Rex knew, because I don't think we had any inkling that Rex knew. I think we've had an inkling that like Ahsoka kind of knows something going on. We've had an inkling that Obi-Wan knows something is going on, and Obi-Wan basically confirms it at the end of this, and we'll talk about that later. But we didn't know Rex knew, and Rex is part of like this plan basically to go around everybody else's back, and he's like helping his boy Anakin out, like contact his wife Padme. It was awesome. Was this the same scene? Because they do like the hand holding thing. Was this the same thing we saw in the trailer?
Yes, and it actually you can see that she's pregnant. She's holding her stomach throughout the hologram. This is like right before she comes back. It might be they might have changed the background.
Maybe,
but yes,
times.
I mean, it might have. There might be two different versions. We don't know.
Yeah.
But I think this was what we saw in the trailer, and Padme does look pregnant.
Yeah.
And she's holding her stomach every now and then. And actually, this wasn't even the original scene from this episode.
Right.
I thought personally this was a beautiful scene between Anakin and Padme, and better than the original one. In the original version, back when it would have aired in the season 7, that would have been like 7 years ago. The original scene was Rex showing Anakin that Padme was drawn on the 501st gunship, and Anakin's like, this cannot stay here. Like on Plo Koon's one, it says Plo's Bros with a picture of his head on it. So it was just funny that it was another way of showing like, hey, like nudge, nudge. So some people were upset about it. A lot of other people were like, no, this was so much better than what we got.
People were upset about the scene?
People were upset that they got rid of the other scene. But most people were like, no, this one was, everyone else was like, this was
people over me.
I didn't hear it, so
it's okay. Well, if you do hear it later. No, but they played Across the Stars, which was just incredible. I don't know if we talked about our favorite songs when we did a Star Wars episode a little while back. I don't know if we did it with Chris on our bonus episode. Across the Stars is like one of my top 5 favorite Star Wars songs. So that was just beautiful to hear. Seeing Obi-Wan like really, really, really confirm that like he knows about Padme, because like we knew he knew, but like basically be like, I know what you're doing. Like I'm not dumb. Like we're best friends. We're brothers. Like I know that's what you're doing. And of course, Anakin, as always, doesn't really care about what the Jedi High Council has to say about permission, because they were going to deny it. And Anakin's like, no, but it's fine. It sounds good. We'll go do it anyway. And Obi-Wan just like, yep, okay, Anakin's going to do this because Anakin just does what he wants, which is just super funny.
Yeah, and actually at this point, Obi-Wan is on the Jedi Council, the Jedi High Council.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was a great opening. It was nice to see Obi-Wan again.
Yes.
And I'm just shocked at how Rex is acting, and we'll talk about that more as we go along later. But yeah, so continuing, in space, Skywalker, Rex, and Force 99 prepare for their assault. Clone Force 99 are reluctant to reveal who they answer to, and shortly later they exit hyperspace above Skako Minor. Tech flies the ship into a storm, but they manage to safely land on the planet's surface. Tech informs his fellow clones and Skywalker that they have landed on a part of Skako Minor that is inhabited by the Politex, a primitive people who apparently worship a large flying reptile. Shortly later, the Havoc Marauder is attacked by a Kiradak. Skywalker and the clones go out to confront the Kiradak, which carries a. Sorry, I wasn't caught off guard. Which carries a Politecan mount. The Kiradak kidnaps Anakin with its claws and flies away. The clone trooper Crosshair manages to fire a grappling hook at the Kiradak, and Hunter holds on. He attempts to shoot it down, but his blaster is knocked out of his hand. The Kiradak tries to knock Hunter against the rocks, and Hunter lets go onto a flat surface. He is unhurt and manages to track Skywalker and his kidnappers to a nearby Politecan village, and the villagers take Anakin prisoner. Cam.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there as well. Who do you think Clone Force 99 reports to? Because I have a suspicion. You know from the previous when they did this.
I do not know from the previous ones. I almost think it would be Palpatine, but at the same time, I don't think it is either, because they don't understand what like CT numbers are. So that means they probably don't have the inhibitor chips, and they're very good at disobeying orders in general. So they don't seem to have those inhibitor chips that would like execute Order 66 and stuff like that, or follow the rules, because they're very good at fighting authority.
I 100% think that this Clone Force 99, they're straight from Palpatine. I think they all have mutations, right?
Yes.
And they're good mutations. I think Palpatine put the order on this. I think that they report to him. I think they are playing a little bit dumb, such they might not know either. Because remember, a clone's purpose is to like do their job. Their job might just be like, okay, get on the side. Because like, yeah, okay, they don't take orders well from the Jedi, from Anakin. Maybe they're taking orders well from Palpatine.
No, I think they take and that also brings in the whole Palpatine made sure the clones liked Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
They listen very well to Anakin. They don't listen well to Rex.
Right, that's fair. Well,
but listen well, but they also listen well to Cody. So I still don't know.
So here's the thing: who's the first person that knows about Order 66?
Well, yes,
it's Cody.
Cody finds out first, but that's the whole thing. His inhibitor chip clicks on, and he can't do anything about it.
But I think that they're trained. Listen to Cody. Trained. Listen to Anakin, because yeah, he's a Jedi, but like Anakin is like Palpatine's rooming him. He knows he's going to potentially be his like next thing. I think that's what it is, and I really hope it is, because I think that'd be super super cool if these guys were just basic. Because remember, like Rex, like they just witnessed Fives like die, and Five just keep talking about like this inhibitor chip, and that the Emperor was he wasn't Emperor yet, but like Senator Palpatine was like, it's all related, whatever. I think this is Palpatine's way of keeping his eye on Rex and his troopers in the 501st. That's what I thought.
Yeah, well, Palpatine does show Fives who he really is. He tells Fives the whole plan, but he knows that Fives is too far gone for anyone to believe him. I don't know, because I also have a feeling it's weird. Hunter likes Rex. In my own belief. The other three don't. But it also seems they made the joke that what's Hunter's mutation, and it's to deal with the other three, which kind of makes sense. I just think that Crosshair and who's the big one?
Wrecker.
That Crosshair and Wrecker just have that attitude. So I don't know in that same sense where it's like, I bet we'll find out.
Oh, absolutely.
At least I hope we find out. It would make sense that at the end that they like signal in and it's Palpatine talking to them, which would be interesting. But also people need to know that they are technically a clone commando force.
Right.
So they're on the same on the same level as like Gregor is. Right. They're part of that type of squadron. I think this could be like, you could scheme about who's in charge. But yeah, they do take a liking to Anakin, which does kind of give you the hint that Palpatine probably is involved in some way, shape, or form.
Right. This scene where Anakin, just real quick before we move on, the scene with Anakin getting taken prisoner was pretty cool. Like the Crosshair and getting involved, and it was just really cool. This little, what is it, Politican or whatever. It was fun.
Yeah, they're primitive, but they know how to fight.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
meanwhile, the clones join Hunter at the edge of the village, and after resolving not to terrorize the villagers, the clones move in to rescue Anakin. They use a boulder to smash several structures and manage to awe the politicans by their display of firepower. In the end, the Politic chief orders a ceasefire and tells the clones he does not want their war on his planet. The chief also explained that there was the reason he had kidnapped Skywalker. With Tech acting as a translator, that was so cool. Also,
Yeah, it was super.
um, Anakin tells the Politekans that Wat Tambor and his separatists are responsible for bringing the war to Skako Minor. Rex then tells Tech to tell the Politics that he and his clones will apologize for their actions. He also explains that they're here to rescue one of their comrades, Echo, who had fallen into the hands of the Separatists. The chief provides the clones and Skywalker with scouts to lead them to Tambor's city, Perkal, but no farther. It's
Yeah,
also interesting to think that Anakin is the one that kills Wat Tambor.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, it's interesting to see that go on. I really liked that scene
yeah,
because even though they were so primitive, they still know that there's a war happening in the world,
absolutely.
in the galaxy. So
Yeah,
you kind of learned that they weren't as primitive as originally thought.
right. And I absolutely love the technology that Tech uses to translate, where basically it was fed in through his helmet in his goggles, where you could see what they said, see the translation, and then he was able to speak it back, like to translate between. It was really cool, a different way of doing translation in Star Wars instead of having an actual translator. Um, yeah, so shout out to Tech for creating Google Translate in space. That was awesome.
Now we know what you would have if you were in Star Wars with your
Yes,
glasses.
yes,
So, meanwhile, Minister Wat Tambor is contacted by Admiral Trench, who warns him that an infiltration team of clones has traced the algorithm signal to Skako Minor, and that a Republic attack is imminent. Tambor says that the Techno Union has corporate neutrality on the planet, though Trench warns that it wouldn't matter to these Republic operatives, and Tambor resolves to be ready for them.
hmm
So I think this is a scene we should probably talk about on its own. Um, it's so interesting how well Palpatine schemed. He
so
made
good.
sure that people with corporate power and money power, so like the banks,
Yep,
they had immunity, but they were secretly helping the Confederacy
right,
that they were helping,
right.
which is just so interesting. Because obviously, then it turns into like in the banking episodes where um, Padme's friend gets put into business, and
Yep,
then Count Dooku kind of like usurps it, and then the Republic takes it over, and then that gives Palpatine full control of the banks. So
right,
Palpatine controls the money. Techno Union just makes stuff, and I forget what else they do. Um, but they were supplying to both sides. But that money was then going right back to Palpatine. So it was just
right,
so interesting to see.
right,
And obviously, the Techno Union is actually working for the Separatists.
right. No, it's super cool. Like so many strings being pulled here and there, and it's awesome. I love Star Wars, man. I love the Clone Wars.
Yeah, I really would love to see the Episode 3 extended George Lucas cut because it was supposedly had a ton more politics in it.
hmm
So there's supposedly like a 4 hour 4 to 5 hour Episode 3 extended cut that is created that George Lucas made that includes a lot more of like the politics of the Senate.
Yeah,
But they cut a lot of it, which is so
yeah,
sad. I would gladly watch like a 6 hour Star Wars movie.
right. Yeah,
I mean, we already
I
watched a
same.
3.5, 4 hour Infinity War movie.
Literally, yeah. Give me all the Star Wars.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. During the journey, Tech finds that he is unable to trace Echo's signal. Hunter thinks that the Separatists are trying to lure them into a trap. When Crosshair says he would have left him for dead because he was just another reg, Rex is enraged and assaults him. Anakin manages to defuse the situation by sending Clone Force 99 to scout out the rest of the surroundings while he talks to Rex. While Rex defends Echo, Anakin advises him that they should be ready for such a situation. Rex understands Anakin's concerns, but insists on him being the one to deal with his former comrade. In Perkle, the Bad Batch manages to trace Echo's signal to a tower. Shortly later, they are joined by Anakin and Rex. Tech manages to open the door, and they take the lift to the top, despite Wrecker's reluctance. That was really
Wrecker's a
funny. We'll talk about that.
big no fan of heights. Wicked funny.
No, he's fine with heights. He just doesn't like gravity.
Fair, yes.
Yeah, like me. While on the lift, Anakin reminds the clones that they are on a stealth mission, so they have to avoid blowing things up. Haha. Upon exiting the lift, the clones find themselves facing D-Wing air support droids, and Wrecker immediately moves to engage the droids, and as the rest of the Bad Batch follow, Rex quips to Anakin, so much for stealth, exploring the facility. They lose, and after that, exploring the facility, they lose echo signal again, and Tech theorizes that the signal is only visible during data transmissions, and that they have to wait for Echo to transmit more data.
I want to touch on the D-Wing.
To me, the Bad Batch is like the perfect Anakin Skywalker.
Oh my god. Could you imagine if he had these, like, as his troopers?
The war would have ended, like, 3 years ago. Ahsoka would never run frame for murder.
I hope if the Bad Batch survives, that we find out that like they become like part of Anakin / Darth Vader's like protective like force. Like that'd be sick if we like learn that in the future. Like that some of these troopers that always like are with Darth Vader are like Wrecker, which Wrecker wouldn't happen because he's too big. But like I don't know, somewhere in the background, like that's where they are. Big fan of these D-Wing air support droids. I thought they looked sick. Like they had the mohawk and stuff like that. Those were super super cool. But of course, Wrecker messes everything up by engaging with the droids, which is super interesting. And it was awesome that Tech was able to figure out how they can track echo signal, and it has to transmit more data. So very interesting way of how they're able to do all this.
We end up mentioning our group chat with Chris at least once a Star Wars episode. Chris obviously had the hot take that he did not like the way these droids were, that they were weird looking.
Unbelievable.
And my rebuttal to that is obviously they don't look like separatist battle droids because technically the Techno Union is neutral.
Have you seen the Techno Union's logo?
I probably have, but I have not seen it recently. Why is it really cool?
It's so cool. It's like if you go up to the fourth paragraph, maybe it's like highlighted. If you click on it, everybody go look up the Techno Union. TECHNO Union. It's a sick logo. I don't really.
Oh, that's really cool.
I'm a big fan of it.
That's really cool. I don't know what the exterior is, but the middle is like their sky lifts to their city.
Yes.
So
super cool.
Yeah. So this is definitely Anakin's dream clone commando unit, but obviously clone commandos are not assigned to Jedi. They never have been. So Anakin orders the clones to split up while they are searching the facility, heading heads into a chamber where he dispatches several D-Wing droids that attempt to trap him with the help of Crosshair. That was a nice little moment also between Anakin and Crosshair.
Cool. And that goes with my thinking that like they're so tight with Anakin because Palpatine's like, hey, protect this guy, and Crosshair's like, yeah, I got you, buddy. I'll shoot these guys from behind when you're about to get killed.
But my other thing is Anakin would have killed that one. Would have destroyed that one. Like he was about to hit it and then it was shot.
It's still good to have that help.
It was.
It's showing the building of that trust between the Bad Batch and Anakin.
All right. So meanwhile, the clones search the chambers, and Tech traces the signal to a particular chamber, but finds that it is that the entrance is sealed. The view screen next to the door activates to reveal Wat Tambor, who informs the clones that he was aware that they were coming and that he has led them to a trap. He even used the algorithm to predict every movement they made to infiltrate Skako Minor, thus violating the Techno Union's neutrality. Rex responds that Tambor has violated the Union's neutrality by bringing a Republic prisoner to Skako Minor, and Tambor claims that Echo is dead, which causes Rex to angrily call him a liar. He says, your friend is dead, but we use his brain.
Yes.
So I'm like, that was right there. I'm like, okay, you're already saying he's still kind of alive. And the foreman orders approaching D-Wing droids to execute the clones. I'll do the last paragraph also. Yep. So the clones fight the D-Wing droids, and are assisted by Anakin, who he just comes in and he just like force pushes half of them, destroy them, who's helps them destroy the droids. After fighting off the droids, Tech opens the door on Anakin's orders. Rex and Tech head into a large lab where they find Echo confined within a stasis chamber. Echo has been drugged and is completely unaware of his surroundings. Several tubes have been fitted into him, and some of his limbs have been replaced by prosthetic parts. Rex and Tech deduce that Echo has been kept unconscious by the Separatists, who remotely mined his mind for information on the Republic's strategies on Anaxes. Rex comforts his old comrade, and he and Tech begin freeing Echo.
Unbelievable.
I was like,
so
oh my
sad.
god,
That was so heavy to watch. It's funny because
in a sense a joke because one of the people was heavy.
yes, it's incredible. I forget who shared it, but somebody tweeted this week, like a couple people did. I actually saw a couple posts, like when people say cartoons and comics like don't matter and don't have emotion, like show them this clip. And one, it was like Superman talking to his son that he is like being basically brainwashed to think he had, even though he wasn't, living this perfect life on his home planet.
Oh, I saw you retweet that.
Yeah, and it felt the same in this. Like, this is a cartoon, but my god, there's so much emotion when Echo basically falls out of that chamber all wired up. He has like that headpiece that, oh my god, what's his name? Oh my god, Lando's buddy, bald guy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like has like that same piece. It was like he might as well be dead, but he's alive, and that's Rex's brother, and it was beautiful, and I was like actually overcome with emotion a little bit, where I started like tearing up a little bit. I was like, oh my god, like we all thought he was.
Well, did you hear what Echo said when they like finally freed him? He started saying like, "Get to the ship." He was like, "Get to the ship, and then he was like, "Oh no," and he was like they woke him up, and they woke him up, and it was like he just woke up from getting blasted at the Citadel. Mm-hmm. But then he kind of figured it out. He came through and he said, "Rex," and he goes, "You came back for me." Yeah. So we have our first ever clone trooper Darth Maul. Completely prosthetic lower body, but he also has his own hand.
Yes.
Fun fact, his hand, if you looked at it really closely, I watched it twice. I watched it once by myself and then once with Courtney because she's keeping up with the Clone Wars now. His hand is like, when R2 has that little like device that unlocks stuff.
Yep.
That's what his hand is. It's not a hand, it's it's a thing, it's a droid part. Yeah, so I think my main complaint nowadays is they're only 22 minutes, and I'm like, you can't leave me hanging like this, man. Come on.
Yeah. We were talking about that, how much we wanted the next part, but we will have to wait for Friday, unfortunately.
So what are your overall thoughts, though?
Awesome. It's awesome.
Better than the first episode, the same, or less?
I really like the first episode. And that's not to take away from this. This episode did do that same thing, like during a battle that played no music. It was the same thing they did in the first episode too. Was that ever a Clone Wars thing? I don't remember that being like.
I feel like I have to go back and rewatch it again to see.
Yeah, but no, it was super cool. I think it's still like the first episode better, but it's like we do this a lot last for me. Like 1A, 1B, like it's one story to me. It's just helping to build a story, but it's super awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, Dave Filoni is a master storyteller.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
And I think that's the whole thing. We're not when we're all said and done with this season, we're not going to be talking about our favorite episode. We're going to be talking about our favorite arc.
Absolutely.
Because when it's all out, it's going to be 3 1-hour shows. It's going to be 3 1-hour mini movies, like hour and 20-minute movies.
Right.
Absolutely. So I already know my favorite one is probably going to be the Battle of Mandalore, the Siege of Mandalore, because that is just such a cool storyline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and actually going back, you were talking about how cartoons inspire emotion and like what it does. I just did my full rewatch of Star Wars Rebels. Appreciated it much more than I used to. It's not as childish as people say it is. Just to put that out there,
it really isn't.
The first season is.
That's
like
fair.
the first half. The first half of the first season is.
Yep.
But then at the end of the first season, when the Grand Inquisitor dies and all that, it gets a lot darker. So I don't get people's main complaints. I think they probably just watched the first half of the season,
just ended it
like I did. and just complained. I came back when they reintroduced Darth Maul,
Yep.
because I had to see Darth Maul. But no, talking about how emotion clone, how cartoons inspire emotion. Um, I texted you right after I watched the episode A Jedi Knight, when, spoiler alert here, when Kanan dies, and I was sitting there. I'm like, oh my god! I'm like,
Yeah.
I am so sad right now. And then the next
I
episode's even
wanted to
worse
cry
when they
just
all
thinking about you watching it.
when
Like,
when
oh,
they all and then the worst part is like that's sad, but then all of them dealing with grief in all very real ways. I'm like, oh my god. But then even going even further, I showed Courtney the episode where Ahsoka confronts Darth Vader,
yep.
and she was like bawling her eyes out because she was
Yeah.
like, I can't believe like she didn't realize it. And that goes to my theory of Darth Vader and Anakin in a sense are two different people.
Okay.
Like Darth Vader destroyed Anakin,
Hmm.
so that's my thing. People will fight about that one, but yeah, like they do it, and I have not been like I haven't felt the emotion fully yet, but I think over the next couple episodes we will.
Yeah, I agree.
So, any
Super
last
cool though.
thoughts before? Any last thoughts on the episode? So, episode 3, which will be released next Friday, um, which I think we will be doing on that Friday.
I can do it that Friday at night. Yep.
I'm on spring break; it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I'm
So,
working, but I can
three,
absolutely do that Friday.
episode 3 will be called "On the Wings of Kiradax."
Yes.
So, with Echo recovered, Rex, the Bad Batch, and Anakin Skywalker look to fight their way out of the Separatist base.
Love it. Just the one
I think
continuation
that will
after
be the
another.
fun. This one might actually be a 3-part arc. We don't know. We're gonna find out. This might next episode might be the last of the Echo arc, but we will find out. They might have added a fourth.
I think it's going to be 4, 4, and 4. From
Well, I think the only thing I can think is this one will be the third, and then the fourth one will be the siege of Anaxes, where they hopefully beat Trench on Anaxes.
Gotcha.
We shall see. So now for our long-winded, follow us and rate us on all forms of social media. So you can find us on Twitter at Stream the Mouse. You've been busy on Twitter. You've been enjoying a lot of this stuff this week.
So much.
And you can also find us on Instagram at Streaming with the Mouse, as well as Facebook, the same thing, and YouTube, the same thing. Then you can also find us on our website at cprob.com/streamthemouse. And where can they find you on Twitter?
I'm at CamRamos95 on Twitter. Make sure to give that a follow.
So I've been lying to you this whole past couple months. CP Robinson's not a common name, but I'm actually CP Robinson 81 on Twitter. It's a fun fact. But you would find me one way or the other. I'm pretty sure I'm the first one that pops up. Yeah. So we will see you guys on Friday. So until next time, for Cam Ramos, my name is Clifton Paul Robinson, and have a magical day, everyone.
May the force be with you.